Elements by Rejects on AO3. Chapter 10, Chapter 9. Chipper. Galagirl at Galagirl_magazine. What do the boys of at Elements_UA enjoy doing on their off days? Just being boys. Image of Elements at the park, playing on the equipment. Galagirl at Galagirl_magazine. Who knew at Elements_UA got along so well? We sure did. Image of Elements at the same park, still playing on the equipment. Galagirl at Galagirl_magazine. We asked at Elements_UA what their types are, and they did not disappoint. Link to an article. Galagirl at Galagirl_magazine. Which boy from at Elements_UA are you most compatible with? Come find out. Link to a quiz. Katsuki sat on the swing with his face in his hands the moment things settled down for them. This was supposed to be a day off. Day off means no work. No work means no talking to teeny pop magazines, Deku. I didn't know they would go all out on us. Izuku slid dejectedly down a slide and remained at the bottom. They seemed like they needed something to write about, and they were so nice enough, so... Deku. Shoto kneeled next to him and placed a hand on his shoulder. The fact that you have the right to say no also applies to the media, no matter how nice they are. I know that. Just a friendly reminder. Denki sighed. We lost one whole precious hour of our day. How are you going to replay us? Ichiro draped an arm over Deku's shoulder, holding on to him as if to stop him from running. I say you buy us some crepes. Ooh, crepes! Sounds awesome! Denki high-fived him, and they proceeded to chant, crepes. Katsuki watched as the two led Deku away, much to the dark-haired man's distress. They chuckled as he shook his head, following them. All right, so, even though he wanted to hang out with just Deku today, this wasn't so bad. It wouldn't be so bad if he could have been given the chance to talk to Deku at all. However, the entire day was filled with the group stealing his attention, or his own attention being stolen by the rest of the group. Of course, they're his friends too. But damn it, Deku was also his friend. He was his friend first. Damn it! Eventually, they met up with Ochako and the others, and went to the movie theaters. Surely he'd at least be able to sit next to Deku, right? He'd be able to watch Deku watch a movie about their favorite comic book hero, right? Somehow, we ended at complete opposite ends of the group. Not that he minded sitting next to Ichiro when they had any time at all to relax during their trainee days. Ichiro had been his default movie-watching buddy, regardless of the genre. However, ever since their first horror flick night, Ichiro grew extra careful greeting movies nights with Katsuki. Review says it's going to be real. The redhead nudged him excitedly as they waited for the film to start. No way it'll beat All Might and Sir Nightite. That was an absolute masterpiece. Are we really going to argue about this again, dude? That movie was a joke. It was a masterpiece, and so was All Might Forever. You have the shittiest taste in movies. Are you guys talking about All Might Forever? Deku's voice emerged from the other end of the group, confirming Katsuki's long-time theory that he did have a quirk, and it was selective hearing of All Might. Yeah, Katsuki says he loves it. Gross. Ichiro responded. Aw, it was a good movie. Deku grinned. I remember watching it when it came out with Gachan. We did watch it together, didn't we? This conversation would be a lot if there weren't 7 people separating them. Nuh-uh. We should watch it again sometime. Katsuki couldn't not smile. Dude, we should. You two are in your own then, in that case. Ichiro held his hands up. I'm not gonna sit through that garbage again. At that moment, Katsuki realized the trick to spending time alone with Deku at all. The film ended on an emotional note, and they all left the theaters with their worlds rocked. Deku, excitedly explaining every little reference he caught in the film to anyone willing to listen. Ochako, new to the All Might universe, but interested, and Shoto, who always seemed to be interested in what his bandmates have to say. Everyone else was caught up in their own conversations. They eventually parted ways with the girls and went back to the dorms. Did you enjoy it? Finally, after the entire damn day, Deku was walking alongside him while the other three talked amongst themselves. Hell yeah, I did. Though, still doesn't compare to All Might Forever. An amused twinkle shone in the shorter man's eyes. Hell no, it doesn't. Katsuki chuckled and shoved his hands into his pockets. When are we watching it, by the way? Deku pulled out his phone and checked in. Well, I've got nothing going on tonight, he said, glancing at him before looking elsewhere. And the TV in my room is rarely used. Holy shit. He wanted to kiss him right now. Have fun with your shitty movie night, Izuru called out before Deku closed his bedroom door. This doesn't mean I'm being replaced, right? Of course not. Just when we want to watch the greatest movie of all time. Katsuki made himself at home right on Deku's bed, his back against the headboard, and hands behind his head. That, and horror flicks. Funny how Deku can stomach those better than you can. I didn't know what we were going to watch, and you traumatized me. That's something that will never be forgiven. Deku laughed and finally shut the door as the redhead stomped off to shower. Katsuki watched him get the film set up before Deku took his spot on the bed beside him. I haven't seen this in a while, Deku said, pressing play on the remote. Neither have I. Katsuki tried not to think too much of how close and warm Deku was as the film started, and they sat in near silence. 10 minutes of the movie goes by, and the blonde hopes Deku couldn't hear how hard his heartbeat was beating. This was all he wanted today, and somehow things worked out. He just needed to calm himself down. In another 10 minutes, before his little rush disappeared, the two made short comments here and there as the film went on. About 45 minutes into the movie, Katsuki realized Deku wasn't saying anything anymore. Before he could even look over, he feels Deku's head touch his shoulder, and he remotely tenses. Of course he'd fall asleep after a day like this. Not that Katsuki minded being a pillow, but he didn't want to finish the movie without him. Carefully reaching for the remote, he stopped the movie and remained still for a moment, not wanting to pull away. Deku's soft hair tickled against his cheek, and it took all his self-control not to rest his head against the sleeping man's. Katsuki's fists clenched on his lap as his heart rate picked up again. He closed his eyes and inhaled as quietly as possible before letting out his breath, just as quiet as before. He tensed when Deku let out a soft noise, light nuzzling into his shoulder. He is so cute. Katsuki stayed there for a moment longer before feeling like he was going to doze off. With a sigh, he carefully lifted Deku's head off his shoulder and moved him to lie down properly. Kachan? Go back to sleep, Space Case. Katsuki pulled the blanket over him. Sorry, is the movie over? He swallowed as Deku loosely takes his wrist before he can pull away. Don't worry, I didn't finish it without you. Sorry. It's fine. Katsuki doesn't realize his own smile until Deku is sleepily smiling back at him, a faint blush accompanying the freckles on his cheeks. We'll finish it next time, Deku promised, closing his eyes. We can use our next day off to hang out. Just the two of us? Like before. The blonde took a moment to let it sink in, while Deku yawned, letting go of his hand. By the time it did sink in, he didn't have time to respond before the other male spoke again. Night, Kachan. Katsuki loved him. Night, Izuku. Sweet dreams. All Might is the coolest. I'm gonna be just as cool as All Might. You mean it, Kachan? Duh. I'm gonna be just as cool, and I'm gonna have No. 13 more movies than he does. That's amazing. Is 13 a lot? Of course it is. Katsuki scribbles something onto a sheet of paper. Here, this is for you, so when I get famous, this will be a tons of specialer. Wow, Kachan, you can even write your own name. I am smart. I don't know how to write mine yet. I'll catch up to you soon, though. Just wait. As if, Deku. I'm gonna leave you in the dust. Katsuki pressed his hand over the other boy's cheeks, squishing them together. I'm gonna be super famous and awesome, and that's the hardest thing in the world, and I'm gonna do it. Deku didn't push his hands away, but instead dug his fingers into the blonde's armpits, tickling him. Katsuki let go, laughing uncontrollably before Deku stops. I can do it! Just watch me, Kachan! The boy beamed, taking his turn to squish Katsuki's cheeks together. Then you'll be my biggest fan. Not if you're my biggest fan first. The blonde pokes at his sides, earning a squirming, giggling Izuku in return. That's right. He was probably just as ticklish. Deku kept giggling, trying to push his hands away. You first. No, you. The only thing you'll be number one is being my biggest fan. It's a race. You're on. Deku looked at him, the innocent smile on his face becoming deranged, and he vanished. Katsuki felt breathing over his ear, in a deep whisper. Do you deserve that, though? Me, as your biggest fan? Fingers curled around his throat, tightening. It's happening again. After everything you put me through. The voice broke into a laugh that sent terrified shivers down his spine. Izuku. Katsuki choked out, reaching to pull the hand away. But there was nothing there. He could feel them around his neck, but there was nothing. There was nothing. There was nothing. He heard his own scream in his head. What makes you think you could get away without a quirk? Get real, Deku. You're useless. Give up. I said I was sorry, Deku's voice hissed into his ear. What makes you think you deserve me? That you deserve to love me? His voice became Toga's. You don't deserve him. You can never make him happy. Katsuki jolted from his sleep, feeling sick. He sat up and buried his face in his hands, taking a moment to steady his breathing. When he was sure the world around him wasn't trying to kill him, he looked at the time. He still had an hour before he needed to be up, but he couldn't go back to sleep if he was still worked up. He decided to go out for a jog and desperately hoped his mind is cleared by the end of it. Snappygram. Katsuki 01. Was attacked on my morning jog by a vicious beast. Nearly tore me to shreds. Image of Bakugou sitting shirtless at the park with a puppy on his lap. The owner most likely took the picture for him. Comments. I bombed my exam yesterday, but this pic saved me. Where is your shirt, young man? March back home and put one on. That beast destroyed his shirt. Pretty sure you were the one who attacked the innocent creature, lol. Shredded is right. Oh, you mean actual shreds? I still stand by what I said. All pop rock. Rumor. Elements Izuku and Sin X Ochako rumored to be dating? ? Image of Midoriya and Uraraka walking together and talking to each other. Todoroki has been perfectly left out of the photo with the help of camera angles and editing. Just last night at X Theater, Elements and Sin X were seen leaving the building with member Izuku and Ochako, looking extra close. Could there be a relationship blooming despite their agency's no dating policy? Comments. Best voted. Oh, look out. That stalker chick could come after her, lol. Best voted. Why is this any of our businesses? I thought this site specialized in actual news, not baseless rumors created just because two people were interacting. My heart would break. But wouldn't they be more secretive because of that policy? No, my wife. End chapter 9. Okay, so first I want to talk about the fact that Bakugou's like, okay, this could be a nice trip. I'm friends with everyone here. It could be an okay trip. You know, later down the road, this is shit. Why aren't you guys letting me talk to Deku? He was my friend first. the whole, I was friends with him first. He was my friend first. It's giving, Bakugou, you're a little jealous that Izuku's attention isn't 100% on you right now, and you're a little pissy. Which, understandable. And then, the fact that Izuku kind of fell asleep on Katsuki, I will say this. I heard somewhere, right, that when you are sleepy around a certain person and you're like comfortable enough that you're falling asleep with that, like, you know, not falling asleep with that, but like, but you're falling asleep when you're with that person, it can be a sign that you're super comfortable and trusting of that person, and this is like a comfort person for you. And, you know, the fact that Izuku fell asleep with Katsuki, I don't know, you know, it's me speculating, don't let me. I want to talk about how Izuku's like, yeah, next time we hang out, it could just be the two of us. Like, that's what Bakugou wanted to begin with, but he didn't have the balls to, you know, say like, oh, I meant just the two of us. Izuku was like, oh, you don't got balls? I got balls. Boom. Look at that. I got balls. I got bigger balls than you. I thought for a second, the nightmare scene, I thought it was going to be a cute, oh, flashback. I was like, oh my god, this is such a cute flashback. And then it wasn't a flashback, and then I'm like, what the fuck? Oh. I think we're gonna be seeing a lot more of Katsuki's nightmares like this. And it is alarming, first of all. Second of all, it is alarming. Third of all, did I mention it's alarming? It's just, he went through a traumatic experience, and obviously he's gonna have nightmares about it. He has, you know, trauma thanks to it, you know, he maybe one day will no longer have those nightmares, but it's gonna be a rough patch for a while, and I'm actually glad that he doesn't seem to be having anything bad against Izuku. Like, he doesn't seem uncomfortable near or around Izuku, so I'm glad that the author did not go that route. Thank you very much. Thank you, author. I love you. Thank you. But I want to talk about the end scene, the rumor. Oh, that rumor's gonna fuck up everything, and I know it. That's gonna fuck up shit. That's gonna fuck up shit, and that's gonna fuck up shit. Okay. As always, my raindrops, make sure to eat, sleep, drink water, take your meds. Have a wonderful day or night. Link to my Discord server and socials are down in the description. Subscribe to see more of my content, and thank you so much for watching.